Greetings from chess.com. Welcome to the final title Tuesday of the month, and let's see who are all playing tonight. Before we get to the title Tuesday, let me tell you that we have the event going on where Magnus Carlsen is playing against Esipenko. So their World Cup game is still on. So I'll just put that game for a moment. Here you go. So that's the game. Magnus Carlsen is white and Esipenko is black. Very intense game going on. Magnus lost the previous one and now he's playing. This is an opposite color bishop, and not really sure what the result would be because these three pawns you can see are on light squares, so this king can never really think of leaving this zone. Strange position. A5, bishop d3. Oh, he just takes a pawn. B6. The moves are. The game is going too fast. Yeah, bishop g5 and then h4. I think this is going to be a win. 3 pawns is definitely a win. bg5, he'll just collect these 2 pawns, g5 and h4, and Magnus is going to win. So then we will have another game. I think we have a result. Magnus has won this game. Great. So we'll have another game, and now let's move on to title Tuesday. Okay, let's go. Alright, so we have title Tuesday. Let me start the music. I think we're all set. Hi, अमय प्रदीप कानेटकर, कैसे हो? मैं तो ठीक हूँ. मैंने बनाए हैं 5 पॉइंट. Hi Khyati, which Indian player is playing? Okay, in the link of all Indian players. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Let me check who are all playing. So among the Indian players, we have Raunak Sadhwani playing. He's abroad. He's probably in BL right now, but I can see that he's here. He's playing this event. Wow. Raunak Sadhwani will be here on our channel very soon. Once he finishes the event, he'll be here and we'll get to interview him. Okay, I think a lot of Indian players are playing, so let me just start following them. First we have Raunak Sadhwani. Okay, I'm following Raunak, and who else? So tonight I won't be playing, so I'll be watching the games. So we are definitely going to see Raunak, and then who else is there in the list? We have Blitz King. I think that's Srihari LR from Pondicherry. So I've put him in my follow list. Who else? We have Yashasvi, a FIDE master from Karnataka. He's also playing in this title Tuesday. And then we have Omkar Kadav. I think it's Omkar. Then we have Moksh Amit Bhai Doshi, who is an international master from India, from Gujarat. And then we have Dushyant Sharma, again a strong FIDE master. I think he's from Haryana. Then we have a candidate master by the username King Cyber. I'm not sure who that player is though. Then we have Raunak Krishna playing G Jain is also playing. Wow. So G Jain is actually playing the national seniors as well. We are in the same room. And we have Raunak Sadhwani is playing against Talk Chess. C4. I think he's going to go for King's Indian. Yeah, G6 and then Bishop G7, Pawn to D6, goes C4, C5. So this is going to be pure English. I'm just checking if there are any players that I've missed out. And now let's look at the chat. Thank you, Swarang. Amay Pradeep, King F1 was actually part of my preparation. After that, I should not play H3, I should play G3. Yeah. Thank you, Swarang. Hi, Akash. How are you doing? No, there are a lot of players playing, not just Raunak. So, can somebody like put the message? I'll tell you who are all playing. We have G Jain. We have I'll probably do it myself. We have Raunak. Then we have G Jain. Then we have Srihari. We have Yashas. We have Omkar. We have Moksh. Amit Bhai Doshi. And then we have Dushyant, and then we have Raunak Krishna. So these are the names I was able to immediately find. If there are more names, do let me know. Okay, so now I'm going to pin this message. Alright, let's go and let me pin. Let me change the account. Tanay, no, I'm not playing tonight, I'm watching. Already had a long day playing. Yeah, so I also pinned the message. So there you have the players, and now let's go. Look at this pawn chain. H4, G5, F6, E5, D6, C5. Who is happy with this pawn chain? White or black? I think it's a good question. I would say black is slightly happy because this knight can easily sit on F4, but the same cannot be said about this knight on E4. And then if CB5, there is always rook B5, Queen B3, maybe BC4, but there is B8 hanging. So first Queen C7 and then BC4. So I think he'll go for Queen C7 or Queen B6. This is my hunch. Or maybe he might just push the pawn to B4. No, pushing the pawn would give a lot of counterplay because white is the one who is having an open file. So I have a feeling he'll just make something like this. Yeah, waiting move. CB5, then there is Bishop D7 and this pawn is likely to fall. Yes, so Raunak is actually reading my mind. And then if Rook A5, then black can go Queen B8 and then pick up the pawn on B5. Let's look at Yashas D. So Yashas is playing black here and is playing against FIDE Master from Bulgaria. Yep, the position 5 pawns, knight bishop, rook, queen. Okay, I think the bishop can come to E5. That's a move that I'm considering. Knight C6, yeah, he's playing bishop E5, very good. And then this rook will come to D8 and then put a lot of pressure on D4. I think this is a prophylactic move. Now Queen E5? Oh no, he plays E5. I thought Queen E5 was stronger because it's attacking this. Oh, but maybe it was Rook E4. Now let's go Rook D8. I think Rook D8 would have been interesting, but he comes back with a knight. He wants to plant his knight on D4. Okay, let's go to Raunak Krishna. Raunak Krishna seems to be having a winning position right out of the opening. The rook has nowhere to go and it cannot even take the bishop because of the fork. Wow, that's a quick win for Raunak Krishna, I think. How was day two? My day two was 3 bar 4. I won 3 games and lost one. And the one game that I lost, I did not really play well. Hi Advait, hi Parth, and hi. If we use Sagar sir to this position, he will say Bishop ki zindagi khatam hai. Ah, okay. You all have watched Vidit's game. Very good. I think that was a very nice game by Vidit. I also made a video, Amay. If you're interested, do watch the video where Vidit won against Durabai Vasif. Yeah, he's actually playing in the BL Open, but he's also here playing Title Tuesday. The round must have ended, and that's the reason he is here. Okay. So Sarvana Krishna has won, great. Then we have Dushyant Sharma, and he's black here. His internet seems to be very slow, but position is very good. E4 is hanging, and if he takes this, then there will be Bishop E4, and then Rook B8, B2 will also hang. I am expecting him to win here. And now just Bishop B5 and then Rook D1, Rook B1. It's a heaven position for black. So SS is still holding on. I think he's still better after Rook takes pawn. Coming back to Raunak Sadhwani, Raunak's position is, I think it looks very dangerous, but now suddenly the computer is saying it's winning for black, and I'm trying to see why. Now I see the point. The bishop on d6 is hanging, so queen d6, and Raunak has changed the game in his favor, and this is a win. Great game. Now we have another game where G Jain is also playing the senior nationals. In fact, I see him every day there in the room, and here he seems to be having a very dangerous position. The king is in danger, so he had to give up his queen because the bishop f6 mate, and I think this is winning. Rook g5, and white is winning because the c7 will hang. Rook g5 and then queen b7, the bishop will be lost. Coming back, SS is still playing. Now you see he has correctly placed the rook behind the passer. So I think he has a great chances to win this game. Oh, but then white has g4. I think he missed this, because g4 is one way to break the connection of these two pawns. And a rook cannot capture the pawn on h3, because then this rook will simply slide over and b8 queen is likely to happen. h4, king h5, king takes f5. What is happening? e3. Oh, this was his idea. King f4, he will just take the pawn. He will just take the pawn. He goes e2. Okay, I think this is still winning. And then now rook f7 is very important. I think he has to push his king away. Oh, now I don't know, because this position is easy way to make a draw. g4 check is a draw. Rook g4 and then rook h6 was a draw. Samil Dolani, hi. Hikaru Drew. Really? I will check that game. And then king takes pawn. Hikaru Drew, but against who? Who was his opponent? Don't seem to get the game that's already over. Never mind. Now this is a Lucena. Pawn goes to g2 and then you carry an umbrella for your king. And then rook f2 and then this is over. He'll play rook f2 and then g1 queen will follow. There you go. So Yashas has also won his first game. So a lot of wins for India. We have Sarvana Krishna, Dushyant Sharma, Moksh, Amit Baidoshi, and then Srihari LR, and then Raunak. All these players have won. Only G Jain and Omkar have lost from the games that we have been following. Now we see an Indian clash. Raunak Sadhwani versus Moksh. Amit Baidoshi from Gujarat. And I have a feeling, yeah, B3, wow. So I just saw in the social media today that Ronak has also got some content coming on the topic of B3, the first move B3. It's catching fire. I think it's trending. Everybody is going for B3 these days, thanks to the efforts of Beast Adiban. Yeah, the games are going great. Now, castles, and then I think he'll put d3 and then knight to d2 and f3 and e5. This is how usually white plays in situations like this. But he goes for c4. I think he'll eventually get his knight to d2. Or I think maybe a3 here. If a4, then there is b4. Yeah, this is a possibility. One typical idea in such positions is to put rook to a2, knight to d2 and then queen to a1. This is a ready idea. We'll come back to Raunak's game and let's look at Dushyant Sharma's game. Dushyant is white here, but the grandmaster seems to be having a fantastic position here. He's already having great threats like nf2 for instance. Black can also play f5 in this position, and this knight cannot be taken. Wow, this is a nice position for black. Next we have Sarvana Krishna playing white against an international master from Georgia. And after rook c1, I already sense some kind of an attack on the king side because of this pawn. Daniel King calls this pawn a spearhead. The pawn on e5 is like the captain, or in football they call it the center half. Because of this pawn on e5, a lot of action is able to happen. I mean, because of this e5 pawn, the knight cannot come to f6. It also controls d6 and paves way for a very standard attack like this. He goes for queen d2. Wow. Queen h6 and knight g5 is bound to happen if black doesn't play king g7. Genuinely, I am not sure about that. In fact, I am not even sure about the players list right now. If you have some info, please let me know. Coming back to the game, I think by playing rook e8, he's made this square for the knight to come to f8. And now, just move this rook for a moment and then go h4, h5, and g6. This is called h-pawn battering ram. But the center has collapsed a bit because the pawn on d4 is no longer there. But there is knight h7 and then bishop into g6 and then rook h3. Wow! I think this can happen, and I want it to happen. This is amazing. Knight takes h7, bishop takes g6 and then rook h3. Wow! Let's go bishop g6. Wow! This is amazing. Now queen h7 is threatened for your information. And if fg6, there is maybe queen g6 first and then move the rook. I'm not sure where black will play now because it's lost. Now just bishop h7 and rook g3 is game over. It's game over. Curtains. Wow. King h8, I think just rook g3. Wow, this is a great game by Sarvana Krishna. I think this deserves to be shared everywhere. So I'll simply share it. Give me a moment. This is a great game. I think one of the best games I've seen today. So let's go and share this game. It's a Desi attack, as Amay calls it. Yeah. not sure if he's on Twitter, but never mind. I'll just share the game. Okay, just share the game. Alright, let's come back to the game. Where is Raunak? Let's go Raunak. So here we have Raunak. Wow, Raunak's pieces are also flying on the king side. Rook e7, yes, why not? Bishop into queen, and then it's game over. Yeah, I saw your message, the hawk. Malika ji, Rakesh bhai must be busy or occupied with something. Hi, the hawk, how are you doing? Only 2 rounds more to come. 2 rounds where? Okay, so Raunak has won. Sarana has won. What a game. And so where were we? Jeet Jain has won his second game, and then Omkar has won, but Yashas has lost. But the final position is pretty. In this position, he played knight f5, and after bishop takes f5 check, which is a mistake actually. Here white is actually winning. White just has to play queen b1 and prevent rook f1 check. But what white did, white played bishop takes f5 and is gone because of queen takes f5. Rook g2 is threatened, rook f1 is threatened, and then after knight takes f5, there is a shocking rook f1 checkmate. Okay, we have Blitz King winning the game, very nice, a great result for him. And then we have Trump mate. Okay, he lost this one. Oh, simply blundered a piece. I think after bishop h4 he simply blundered a piece. Okay, who else do we follow? Let's see. Okay, let's also follow Hikaru for a while. Yeah, so from the next game onwards, we'll keep an eye on Hikaru as well. So how did he launch his attack? Let's see. So after a3, his opponent played e5, and then got his knight to c3, queen to b3, knight to e4. You see, this is a beautiful position for white. All his pieces have done their job, their initial, or let's say prerequisite actions for a good position in the opening, and then the real action starts with h4, and then rook b1, bishop f3, rook e3. He's slowly building the position. And now, can this pawn be taken? No, it cannot be taken because of knight takes f6 check followed by e7 hanging. And the bishop on e7 is still under a lot of tension. And then this is a discord attack, a beautiful attack. And then bishop takes c7. Wow. The idea is that if the king takes the bishop, there is rook g4 check and the queen drops. He just takes the knight, and this is winning. Very smooth victory by Raunak. Hello Shrestha, how are you doing? No, Rakesh is not playing the nationals. Janil Shah, so you want that speed? Actually, there's a good website for you to improve. For me, I was very fortunate that my parents, they put me in a computer class quite early when I was 5, and that's why my typing is great. But then there are other people in the world who are good at typing or slightly better than me or way better than me. For that you can do typing race. You can just Google typing race and see if you can race against your friends. I usually offer my my followers, or let's say people on my list in Facebook or Instagram, if they want to race me, but nobody accepts my race offer. They are afraid of losing. Ah, Janil Shah, now I get your reference. Okay, that's what you meant. I am very hopeful that there will be many amazing games in the remaining portion of our Title Tuesday. So only 2 rounds are done, and yes, there are more exciting games waiting us ahead. Okay. हेलो भाई अंशुमान, आप कैसे हो बताओ. Hi Shreyas, how are you doing? Following with its games? Of course you are, I saw your comment. Yeah, yeah. I think Magnus Carlsen is one, right? I just saw his expression. On another tab, I have Magnus Carlsen's game open. Yeah, Magnus has won. So Magnus moves to the next round. And on the other side, I see back row has excelled. Okay. All right. You are Rushil. Okay. What's your full name, Rushil? Rushil Shah? Is that your name? Okay. Raunak Sadhwani. Next game also has already begun. Okay. So we have Karokan tonight. EF6. I would vote for EF6. Yes. That's right, I think. And then, where will he develop this bishop? I think that's an interesting question. First come king h8 and get the knight to d6. That's what I would do. First go king h8. Yes. And then go knight d6. And then maybe knight to f5. And this is an IQP. For those of you who are not sure what is IQP, IQP stands for isolated queen pawn. You can see this pawn on d4 doesn't have a neighboring pawn, so it's a pawn that's lonely, and in chess we call it isolated. So that's isolated pawn. And I prefer black's position, but the computer likes white. Yeah. Maybe I have a bias towards Raunak's games, but objectively I still feel black should be okay, but the computer somehow likes white. And I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, let's go knight d6. He goes g5. And then I think he's going to play g4 also. Given a chance, he will probably play g4 as well. Magnus won, yes. Ah, Anshuman, okay. Good, I think you should also focus on your studies. Amay, Magnus has qualified. He just won his game, so he has qualified. So all those of you who are here, just like the stream. My target is pretty simple today, just 100, and then I'm going home. Let's go bishop f5. Bishop into f5 I would not take as white, just play rook c1, but he goes bishop d6. Oh. And now I see the problems. The problem is the f5 square for white. Yeah, this is not easy. He's playing against a strong player from France, Fablibi. Okay. We'll come back to Raunak's game. Meanwhile, Hikaru Nakamura is playing against Lawrence Trent. Ji Zheng is playing against, and I am from Russia. How is the position? I think pretty okay. It's a typical Caroline position where, of course, I will definitely say white is better. Rook on b6 is hanging. So he has to move the rook, but he can't move it to b7 because of this bishop. Can't move to b8, or can he? But moving on b8 will invite rook a7, and that is not an easy threat to face. Yeah, he's in danger. HSD is also in danger. The king, look at the king. The danger king, rook g7. Please play rook g7 and then queen h6 and then queen g5 and rook h6. I hope you all know the drill. Eliminate the defender and then use the heavy pieces to checkmate the king. So just rook g7 and then queen h6, queen g5, rook h6. Will he find this? Will his opponent find this trick? He's a candidate master from Venezuela. Okay. I'm very curious. I'm waiting in this game just to see if rook g7 will be played. That's a tactical shot. Rushil. नाम तो सुना होगा, नाम तो सुना है Rushil Shah, right? I am at home, but what I mean by home is going to bed. If I get 100 likes. Magnus will lose to VD in round 7. I think VD will be playing against Duda first. Yeah, Shrest is right. Oh no, his opponent is still thinking. 25 seconds, will he do it? This is that moment where Paresh Rawal will say, मेरे को ऐसे धक धक हो रहा है, that kind of moment. Rook g7, king g7. Oh no, he goes for queen g4. Still winning, doesn't lose much, still winning. Bishop has to be supported, so rook g8. And there is no forced mate here, but of course white is winning. And now what is the threat? Is the threat rook g7? Yes, the threat is rook g7. So he has to play rook d f8. Yashas has more than 50 seconds. Yeah, now less than 50 actually. But he goes for queen c5 and his opponent finally finds rook takes g7. Wow. Okay, and after rook g7 there is rook h6. Tata bye bye. Yeah, he's winning. Okay. Then we have Omkar playing against a streamer from Indonesia, Chelsea Monica. 3 pawns, but I favor black because of this king's position. It's slightly sensitive. I think that's the word. You see, black's pieces are in aggressive positions. Black can go rook e8, and I think he has a nice position to keep playing. He goes for queen d4 and now king g7, rook h8 is also an idea that black can execute in this position. Please refresh the rankings. Ho gaya refresh. Thank you very much. Blitz King. Wow, Blitz King is in the lead with 3/3. Hello Rishabh Sharma, कैसे हो आप? और कहाँ से हो? Queen a8. I think after the rooks are exchanged, black still has attack. Now the knight has to go all the way to h1. But she goes for g4. Oh, queen g3. And it's game over, I think. Queen h3. Knight is also falling. Well done. Yeah, this is a winning position. Great. Then we come to Dushyant Sharma. And he has won here. Let's look at his game. So Dushyant Sharma goes for the Scandinavian, and he goes for bishop g4. I think this is called Scandinavian defense Iceland Gambit. I'm not sure, but according to chess.com, it's modern Portuguese variation. Reminds me that Raunak Sadhwani and Arjun Ergesi were both playing in the Portuguese league, and Arjun Ergesi was actually stranded in Zurich for more than 36 hours, and then eventually he had to miss the first round, and then later his team secured the bronze, and Raunak's team won the silver, in which Raunak played really well, and in fact is also been invited to the next edition of that league. So yeah, Raunak is playing chess, he's coming to Title Tuesday. He's having another tournament. He's playing the BL Open as well. Coming back to Dushyant's game, after knight h4, for a moment I felt that the queen is trapped. But in fact the queen is not trapped. Black queen can come to h7 and hide. And after h4, knight takes d4. Wow, is it a piece sack? After gh5, he simply plays rook g8. Of course the computer favors white, but practically I am not sure if that's so easy. Bishop f3, bishop e7, knight takes h5, okay. Still winning for white, heavily winning. Bishop takes h4, queen b7, okay. Bishop takes d4, all the pieces are flying and then flying off the board in this game. After queen c6, queen bishop c5, okay. Okay, I'll go king f6. He goes for king f6. Go king g7. After queen c7, queen f5, okay. Oh, that game I must definitely see. Please don't close that game. Oh no, that game is closed. But that was such an entertaining game. Kudos to Dushyant for playing such an amazing and entertaining game. Objectively, a lot of mistakes, of course, but it was fun to watch. The portion that I watched was very fun. Okay, now we have Blitz King. He is leading, so let's keep an eye on him. Oh, you're from Jaipur. Great to know. Jaipur. I did come across some scenes from Jaipur yesterday. I watched a movie called Mimi, and I think part of it is actually shot in Jaipur. It's a movie where Pankaj Tripathi plays the role of a protagonist in that movie. 900 to 1650 in 9 months. But now I am not able to progress. So it's like this, it reminds me of that web series that I watched, and where there's one character on the flight. He says that जब आप एक गेम खेल रहे हो, जैसे कि वीडियो गेम खेल रहे हो और फर्स्ट लेवल में आप जीत जाते हो, उसके बाद अगला आता है सेकेंड लेवल. तो सेकेंड लेवल में the level is increased, right? Because you have already passed the first level, and in the second level there will be more enemies to hit you in a video game. You pass that and then you go to the third level, then there are more dangers, or let's say more enemies to kill you when you're playing a video game. So जैसा video game में है वैसे life में भी, as you go from 900 to 1600, of course you will have more challenges. The challenges that were not there before, but because you have entered this new rating, you will have new challenges. So life is a constant learning game. So right now you are facing other challenges, and when you go to 2200 you will have other challenges. Then after reaching 2200 you will see 1650 as low rated players, and then sometimes they tend to play well and that could annoy you. So yeah, there are different challenges, but one thing that can keep you moving is just keep practicing. So then it doesn't matter where you are, you will always end up moving ahead. Adarsh Praveen, do you think Vizit will win the World Cup? I don't know. I would also like to take it one game or one moment at a time, and Vidit does that too. So for him the immediate target is to just complete his preparation, reach the tournament hall, win that next game and so on. So I don't think he's also thinking so much in the future. Hi Tizya Kumar, how are you? Coming back to Blitz King, Srihari LR is a great tactical player from Pondicherry, and again Pondicherry brings fond memories. Like exactly 10 years one day ago I won the National Under 17 in Pondicherry, and it's a good memory. Coming back, I think in this game he has a problem. That's the king. His king is not castled, and that is going to cost him the game. I think he has to run to e3 bravely, and then black can simply take the pawn. So yeah, this position is in black's favor. Let's come back to Raunak Sadhwani. He has marched his h pawn all the way to h5, and now the pawn is coming to h6, and then knight g5. These are typical ideas to nudge this knight on e6 because g7 is a weak spot. Yes, Raunak is doing it right, and now knight g5 is the threat. Yeah, this does feel like FM radio in a way, where I'm constantly talking, where I'm the host, and where I'm listening to people's questions and answering them. Life is unfair. Is it? Okay, what about bishop into e6? No, it doesn't go for it. But I would have gone for bishop into e6 in this position. Yes, the computer agrees. And now queen d6, bishop e6 and knight g5. But Raunak decides to keep his queens because of the potential queen g7, f6. The threat is defended. Now bishop takes e6 followed by queen b6. Pleasant position for white as he's got nothing to worry. Now for a moment this pawn on h6 looks like a thorn, but if the queens are exchanged, the same thorn could become a weakness. Okay, the a6 can be picked. It's a nice chocolate on a6, but white doesn't take it. White first decides to take on e6. Okay, king e6, queen takes e6. He will eventually take the pawn. Radio Mirchi. This is chess.com radio. So how many of you actually listen to FM stations? In the place that I live, there's just one station, I think, which is like really active. But that's also one thing that I do when I'm in cities like Mumbai, Chennai or Delhi. I do listen to the radio stations, especially the stories. Yeah, so Raunak is a healthy pawn up in this position. Knight d4, just queen d4 and is okay. And then this pawn will roll. Hikaru is on 2.5 and is playing a player from Turkey. Okay. Sarana Krishna is on 2. I think Blitz King. Yeah, Blitz King has lost with that terrible king's position. And now 2 points for Sarana Krishna. Queen b8. Though the computer says it's equal, I don't think so. I feel white is slightly better in this position. Knight g6, queen g3. Oh, come on, queen g3. He missed it. So you see this. This is called a window of opportunity. After knight takes g6, there was this window that the black queen could jump to g3, but he missed it. And white has closed that window with knight e5. Oh, that was a miss. Miss by white. Okay, knight g6. Bishop d3. Goes for king d3. This is a world of perpetuals where, oh, and it's mate. Bishop d1 and mate. Queen d2 and then bishop c2 and then bishop f5 or bishop e4, wherever you go, just pick up the queen. Wow, that was a nice comeback by Sarana Krishna, who had missed a chance once and then got back into the game. Now we have Amit by Doshi. I think bishop b2 is a cool move. Bishop b2 would have been very nice. And now a3. Just want to do a little show off here. In this position, you see, they say that the knight is usually bad against the rook pawns, and here is an example. Just play bishop b2. The point is that the knight cannot take the bishop because of a3, and this knight doesn't have space to maneuver itself to control the a1 square. Let's say knight d1, there is a2 immediately, and there is no way to reach a1. Okay, so all the games of the Indian players are over. Dushyant has, I think, won. Yeah, Raunak has won. They went into this king and pawn game. Ah, yes. King and pawn game is winning. This king will simply come and capture all the pawns, and it's going to be a win. Okay. Coming back. Is there any game going on? Or all games over? Swimmer chess. I missed him. Oh, in fact, swimmer chess is also playing the ASF Nationals. Alright, so let's add him as well. Who is swimmer chess? Swimmer chess is Shiva Mahadevan. He once came to our channel and gave an interview after the Title Tuesday. Come on. Okay, so this is the only game that's going on, and this is called the wrong color rook pawn draw. Why is it called wrong color rook pawn draw? It's because the bishop on the dark squares, this bishop, the dark square bishop, cannot really help black to win because of this pawn on h6. So I'll just give you an example and tell you why exactly this is a draw. For all those who are new to this endgame, welcome to Niranjan's endgame masterclass. In this position, this bishop and this color of the square do not match, and that is the reason this is a draw. Because eventually what happens is, let's say you come with your king, you come with pawn, and then you come with the pawn, and then you come with the pawn. Now you can no longer win, you can no longer push this king away from h1, because then it will be a stalemate. For example, if you play king g3 and then push this king, the king will hide on h1, and then eventually you will have to give a square for the king. If you don't give a square, then it's a stalemate. Like if you make a move like this, it's game over. Now you can add 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns behind the h pawn. This position is still a draw. So that's the beauty of such tragic comedy, is that black has a bishop, black has, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns, and still this is a draw because the king is on h1. Now if you change the color of the bishop, if this bishop magically transposes to a light square bishop, then this position is winning, otherwise it's a draw. Alright, so now there is a break because there's a break because they are going to do a check. Thoughts on b3 spreading? I think it's a good idea to also play b3 yourself and then understand why it's trending. It's because white can play the first few moves on just pure development basis. Poonam Jadhav, let the World Cup end and we will announce the winner. The World Cup is still going on, right? The Hawk is here since many months. Eventually you will become a mod, don't worry. What's there in being a mod? You are here, I am here, that's more important. Alright. So swimmer chess is 4/4. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. Alright. The Hawk is also very active on social media. I see his comments for every tweet. For instance, I just saw his comment after I posted Saravanan Krishnan game. Okay. Hi Vedant, how are you doing? Here is a quick question for all of you. How many pieces are unprotected in the starting position? It's a nice question, I think. Good question for beginners. And the second question for you to consider is that, can you answer a check with it? Oh, this I already asked. So let's put it this way. Can you answer a double check with a double check? This is a nice question. Can you answer a double check with a double check? And also there was another question. If you could rename an opening four each side. Okay. Two. Anshuman Barwa is saying two. Okay. Himanshu, which are those four pieces that you are talking about? Which four pieces are hanging or unprotected? Two. Decide kar lo, you are going with two or four. Okay, tournament link. Take the tournament link. Here you go, Daksh. Yeah, Harshvardhan, dogs are barking. We can't do much. Oh, okay. Anshuman is saying no. Two rooks and two pawns. Which two pawns are unprotected? Himanshu, which two pawns? Rook, knight. Each side? The knight is protected by the rook on a1, right? The knight on the right side is protected by the rook on h1. Yes, that's the answer. Just the two rooks. That's about it. Here is a very tricky question. Pay attention. Okay? If a good player sacrifices in an equal position, if a good player sacrifices his rook and promotes his pawn to a queen, by how many points is he ahead of his opponent? Take your time with this one. And now let's focus on the game. We have Shiva Mahadevan playing against Beka 95. Beka 95 is a grandmaster from Serbia. Wow, look at this move, knight d5. Bishop e3. Okay, bishop e3 is going to take rook e3. Oh no, he goes for knight e3. Okay. And white has a typical Mora bind. I would call this a Mora bind because this is a kind of position that's very normal in Mora gambit. And I would play e5 here as white. Definitely go for e5 and go for queen h5. But Shiva Mahadevan goes for queen g4 first. Okay. d5. And then this rook on a1 will soon come into the game. I'm sure rook at d1 will follow. Yes, Shiva Mahadevan is on point today. In knight d5 and bishop h7 kind of tricks can come, yeah? Not sure. Not sure. Malloy, swimmer chess is Shiva Mahadevan. 3 points, 4 points, decide kar lo bhai. Swimmer chess is Shiva Mahadevan. Yes, the answer for the previous question is just two rooks. b2 and g2 are protected by the bishops. So I'm just typing it for your convenience. Okay, that's the question. So take your time. Queen f6. Let's go knight d5 and rook e3. Or just play knight c4. I think just knight c4 is fine. The computer likes knight d5. A quick look at Raunak's game. So Raunak is playing against Arthur Gabrielian. I've played against Arthur Gabrielian in the over-the-board Delhi Open. And I was fortunate enough to win against him. He was a pretty strong grandmaster from Russia. The f2 is hanging, but I'm not sure why he did not see it. Queen f5 check is deadly. The knight on f6 is unprotected. So I'm not sure. Yeah, he goes for queen f5 and after rook g8 and then queen f7, I think white is really better. By the way, Voldar Murzin is playing here. Wow. For a moment it looks like white is clearly better, but no, that's not the case. If there was a bishop on d3, then I was already considering moves like queen takes h5. But that's not the position here. I think white can play rook e2, bring the rook from a1 and attack on the e line. Will white accommodate his rooks on the e line? I think he could. Yeah, he goes for it. Wow. Omkar goes for it, and now rook on a1 will join the party. It's a good thing to remember, especially when you are attacking. It's a good idea to include all your pieces, right? Shivam Adhikari is also trying his hand. First he said 3, then he's saying 5. You know, that reminds me of a very interesting KBC episode in which Shah Rukh Khan is asking a question to a contestant, and you can just Google it on YouTube. It's called Bilal Lodhi episode, like Bilal Lodhi and then KBC Shah Rukh Khan. You just search and you will find it, where the contestant goes for option D, then B, then C, then A, eventually finishes all the options. Niket, I missed the final reaction, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but yeah, I can imagine that Magnus must have been very relieved after that win. Okay, so rooks have come to the E line. What next? Some repositioning is required here. I think this queen has to come back to F2 to facilitate the movement of this knight. I'm not sure if that's possible immediately. Quick look at Shiva Madhavan. Whoa, his king is in danger. The two rooks, they are calling danger. So this is going to be difficult for Shiva Madhavan to hold, I think, because there's just no answer. Rook h1 is coming. Queen b8 is the only move. And after king h7, the king has to run to g3. And when the king has to run, you know, it's always quite a headache, I would say. When the king has to run, it means that other pieces have not really got much to do. Like, that's the only way. But Shiva Madhavan has got his own pieces against the king. Queen g8 is threatened. Wow. Queen g8. Can we do anything about it? Can black play queen g7? And then this queen will come to f4, yeah? This is interesting. Shiva Madhavan has got just 10 seconds. His opponent has exchanged the rooks. Rook g5 check, king h2. Queen takes h4? No. I think he'll just play rook b1. And then queen check and then queen check. Is that a perpetual? No. And now, in fact, Shiva Madhavan is having a great position. His queen f4 check is threatened. Wow, so Shiva is many pawns up. Looks like that, but it's just one pawn up. Black has 4 pawns, and yeah, queen could come to e4. Still a lot of action remaining. Anshuman Barua is asking a question. How many pieces can move without moving any of your pawns? A good question. There's just one piece that can move, right? It's the knight. So the 2 knights can move without moving any pawns, right? No? That's not the answer. I think knight on b1 and knight on g1. They both can move, and the others require some opening of the pawn. You enlighten me with your answer, because I'm not sure. I feel only the knight should be the answer. And regarding the previous question, when 9 minus 5 plus 9 minus 1, that's correct. Anshuman, your answer is right. Minus 5 plus 9 minus 1, that's correct. Coming back, so what happened in this position? What happened? Oh, so Shiva pre-moved his queen move and then just lost his queen. Oh, did he pre-move? Yeah, it was a pre-move. So that was a clever try by Beka95, who played h5. He was probably expecting queen takes g5 and then queen g3, but his opponent played h4, expecting his opponent to play queen g3, and there you win. So that was a nice, smart trick by his opponent. And if you look at the standings, Shiva Mahadevan is no longer in the lead. He's 4/5, but Raunak Sadhwani is on 4.5 out of 5. Okay. Four pieces, 2 knights, and after that 2 rooks. Oh, clever. That's clever, Anshuman. After the 2 knights move, there is space for the rooks to move. Clever. I did not think of this. Very nice question. Probably I will ask this question in a Title Tuesday where you are not there. Yeah, Sai Kiran Reddy. That's the point. Yes, you are right. I love that question. I've added it to my list of questions. Okay, here comes the next question. So if you had to rename a chess opening, which opening would you pick and what would you rename it to? I'm starting with Catalan, and since there is a cat involved in Catalan, I would probably name it as just a cat opening. I will replace Catalan with cat. That's about it. I don't want ALAN, just cat opening. It's a nice one. Suits also. On social media today, on Twitter, we received a lot of comments about B3 to name it as the Beast opening, and I agree because of the kind of popularity it has right now. We could rename it as the Beast opening. And here Raunak is playing against a FIDE master from Russia, and these FIDE masters from Russia cannot be underestimated. They are really strong. So here you see both the players are mimicking the moves. Have you heard of this monkey and the cat story? So here white breaks the monotony with e4 and the game begins. Bishop check c6, yeah? Oh. Goes for knight d7. I like white's position. Knight takes e4 and white is for preference. No doubt about it. Black's position is so passive already. You can feel the passivity. Bishop c6. I would go for the move bishop c6. Bishop c6, d6. Put the queen to e2. Bring this rook from a1 to d1. I think that is what I would do. And Raunak is actually on the verge of following my plan. Cat gambit. Yeah, Anshuman, you seem to be observing a lot of opening lines. That's good. Yeah, Divya Deshmukh does play h4, h5 in a lot of openings. You're right. I remember that I did one of the first videos I did on this channel was about Divya Deshmukh winning her game in the Olympiad, I think. Yeah, that was way back in August last year, I think. And by the way, the Olympiad is coming again. It's starting from 13th of August and it will go until September 14th. That is going to be another exciting event for India. Alright, let's come back to the game. Whew, look at the pawn on c6. It is so proud of its movement. From d4 to d5 to d6. I think, yeah, this pawn will be very happy with its accomplishment. And now just king e2 and then knight e4. Let's do a mini bomb cloud with king e2. But no, he goes for knight c4. And then the king e2 will come. The move will come, I'm sure. Raunak will definitely play king e2. Yes. And now the pawn on c6 is protected. This rook will join the party. It will go to d7. Yeah, this is going to be fun for white. Okay, let's look at other games. We have Sarana Krishna playing against Vugar Manafov. And here Sarana is black. Look at this beautiful knight. It's called an outpost. It's called an outpost because this knight on f3 cannot be kicked away from f3. And then I think rook check, rook g5, rook h5. This is a good idea. Just go check, then come here, then bring the other rook. Yeah, this is a good plan to follow actually. Rook g6, bring the other rook to the party. So today has been all about bringing your reserves. I think it's a very good lesson that you can carry from this Title Tuesday. How these players are using all the existing resources and making the most out of them by bringing them into action. Often a lot of chess players, they just forget to improve the position of their pieces or make the most of their existing pieces. They just forget and only focus at one place. But yes, this is important. In chess, there is a concept called Makagono's principle, which is mainly about improving the position of your worst placed piece. And when you are considering improving your pieces, start with queen. See if you can improve your queen first, then come to the rook, knight, bishop and pawns. Alright, enough of advice. Let's focus on the action. I think this rook will come to f line and finish the game very soon. Because there's just no way. How can you prevent these threats? It's not easy. So now just play rook d7. The reason I'm doing this is because black cannot play rook f8 directly because of this bishop on e3, which has a binocular looking at the square on f8. Oh, the game is changing. Bishop e7 and d6 and the rook is locked. I was saying rook d7 for the same reason that it's not allowing this locking of rook. Now after d6, the rook on d7 is passive. And white is back in the game. This is not going to be easy. And black will in fact black has to like sacrifice the exchange after rook c7. Rook c6 is also nice. Yeah, he goes for rook c6. And maybe now rook e6 to sacrifice the exchange here. Or a nice trick is just to put knight to e5. So if he takes the pawn, you play knight c4, attacking this rook and attacking the pawn on e3, also keeping an eye on pawn on e5. I think this should be interesting. Let's see. So we're just 5 likes away from my target today. So just all those of you who are here, 33 of you actually, just click on the like button and we'll reach 100 very soon, I think, in no time. Alright, let's come back to the game. Here we have 93 and rook. Wow, so this is great. Rook c7. Oh no. He's lost the thread. Rook g1 was the only way to hold the game, but now that's not possible. So let me show you how the game could have ended in a draw. After rook g1 check, king e2, he could have played rook b7. No, not here. I mean after. Let me come to the game. Let me tell you. It was here, I think. Yeah, here. This rook g1 check. When the king comes to e2, there is rook takes, pawn takes, and rook c1. Rook behind the pass pawn. Remember this. But if the king goes to c2, you continue giving a check. If the king goes to b3, you continue giving a check. If the king goes to c4, there is e3. And after rook takes rook, there is e2. This is a nice line. Almost like a study, you know. But yeah, this did not happen. And I think he's already... Wow, he's made a comeback. Before I could say that he was losing, he has already made a comeback. and I can say that this is at least a draw. Very recently, Vidit Gujarati defended rook versus bishop and a few pawns, where he had a rook and his opponent had a pawn. I think his opponent had his opponent had a rook and a bishop, and he had a rook and a few pawns. Yeah, and that was against Yasif Durabeli. Wasif Durabeli, correct. Okay. Bishop f4, king h7 is safe, right? Just put the king on h7, rook on g4, keep pushing the pawn. And even if black loses both the pawns, black has great drawing chances, provided he knows the drawing method. And now bishop f4 check followed by rook h5 is a threat. Oh, he misses it. He misses it and is losing. So even in the last moments, you see the player playing white set a cool trap. And it's lost for Sarvana Krishna after rook h6 is this bishop h6 followed by rook h3. And the game is over. So yeah, so this was the last trap his opponent set, that bishop f4. And here the best move is rook g1. Idea is that if you go bishop f4, don't play king h7, don't play rook g5, but to play pawn to g5 and then keep the pawns rolling. But that did not happen here. Govardhan Reddy, thank you very much for being the 100th person to like this stream. Thank you very much. So I have fulfilled my target. I think I can also try playing some games now. I've seen enough. Let's see if I can play a few. Okay, let me play a game or two and then come back. So 6 rounds are over, so I'll probably play 5 rounds. It will be fun. I have never done this before, like to play in the midway. All right. Just waiting for the game to start. 6 rounds are over, and if you look at the standings, Raunak Sadhwani is on 5.5 per 6. Swimmer chess, that is Shiva Mahadevan, is on 5 out of 6. So this game is still going on. You can't win this one because it's a rook pawn, you see. Rook pawn, you cannot win. The king has to remain here and it's a draw. Yeah, they made 121 moves. Wow. So eventually they drew by 50 moves rule. Okay, I'm now playing against a national master, Aliado. Let's go g6. Bishop g7, d6, knight f6, castles, and now comes my trick. Here you go, this is my trick. Knight takes e4 and then play d5. So when two pieces are next to each other, you have this nice little trick. Don't forget this. I think I can play e6, but I'll go h6. If he takes, I will take back, no problem. I'll go e5. Oh, d takes e5 is not correct. I mean, after d5, I'm actually losing this pawn. That was a bad decision. Bye Anshuman, take care, good night, sweet dreams. Now f4, that's my idea. I think that's a good idea to first develop the bishop, right? Bishop to e6. And now let me follow my own advice, bring the rook into the game. Yeah, I've got the rook into the game. The hero is here. And now I'm considering moves like g4 and f4. I think I'll first go with f4. And now I'll go with g4. Pushing this knight further away. Okay, he wants to take this. I understand that. Can I prevent it? I think I'll simply take this and go king h8. Now I'm threatening knight takes d4. Queen g6. What is your idea? He wants to take this. I think let's take this. Be happy with this pawn. I need to give up this, right? There's no way. Just trying a gamble attack. I don't think this is objectively working, but this is just a gamble. Running queen d4. And there you go. Have I won something big? That is a question I will ask. Maybe. Maybe I've won something big. Yeah. Alright, so that was a win. Coming back to Raunak's game. Raunak is playing black in this position against Beka. So this Beka 95 has been playing against all the Indian players. We saw him play against Shiva Mahadevan as well. And against Dushyant Sharma. What do you think about this position? The knight on e4 seems good. g3. Now Raunak is probably trying Niranjan's gambit, the gamble attack. Like, I don't see anything serious happening for black, but he does have some practical, let's say practical pseudo compensation. It's like a compensation that looks like compensation, which is not really real. Hi Vatsal. Hello Mangore, hegidira. Vidit will be playing against Duda in the next game, and I saw Duda back in 2012 in Slovenia, and he was like already a very talented grandmaster by then, I think, or at least a strong international master. The thing is, there are a lot of advantages that Duda has over Vidit, but at the same time, Vidit also has his own trump cards against Duda. So it's going to be very intense and exciting match, I think, because Duda is very dynamic, and Vidit is also like he has great positional skills and he can outplay his opponent like he did in the previous game. So it's hard to say how the games will be. In fact, I am very curious to see how he does. I think a lot of opening battles will also be drawn. We'll try to see how Vidit plays against Duda, because they might have played before, but playing again in the World Cup is different because it's just two games, and then if the games are tied, they go to tie break. So World Cup is a different setting altogether, and it is hard to predict. That's the beauty part of World Cup, I think, uh, because anybody can win in a World Cup event, considering the knockout challenge that it has. And yeah. So Doda, you see how he outplayed Grishchuk today with a exchange variation of Berlin Rylopes, I think. So he's very good at all that. And I've seen one of the speed chess championship in which Duda was like down by many points, but he pulled out a comeback. He won many games in a row, and in fact won that particular match. I don't remember against who he played, but it was very intense. Yeah, Raunak is actually joining us from BL, I think. Yeah. Wow, he set a back rank mate here. Rook h1, wow, king h7, and rook h1 is a mate. It's not a back rank mate, sorry, but it's rook h1 mate. Wow, beautiful. There's no defense. And now he'll just take queen takes knight, and then there's no defense. What a trap. So the gamble attack has paid off for Raunak. Let's quickly look at the turning points of this game. I'm very curious. Up until here, when he gave up that g3 pawn, I thought it's just a pseudo compensation. But you see, this is what they call the swindle. In fact, we should actually make a series of Raunak Sadhwani's swindles, because I've seen him win many games from worse positions like this before. In Title Tuesdays, yes, I'm talking about Title Tuesdays in particular. Wow, c3, and then after knight g6, bishop g7, knight d6, rook takes a6, knight e4, knight f4. Okay, still there is balance, like he has some threats. Oh, he plays knight f2. So this is where the game has changed. Knight g4 and then rook e1. So he has picked up that increment also, because it's a forced move. This is a sign of a player who makes the most out of his opportunities in situations like these. Wow, beautiful. That was lovely game by Raunak. And Shiva Madhavan has lost his game to Mishanik. I think that's Alexis Sarana. Hikaru is still playing. Oh, Hikaru is black or two queens? Who has two queens? Hikaru has two queens. Okay, so Hikaru won this game. His opponent, chess lover from Azerbaijan, has lost on time. So if you look at the standings now, Raunak Sadhwani is on 6.5 bar 7. Oh, we'll keep an eye on him. Yes. Yeah, Raunak is playing after the tournament. How the mango, Ray? You're right. Vidit won the title Tuesday. I think that was also very good for his confidence. Yeah, vertical side rank meet. Yeah, that's the name. We can use that for the checkmate that Raunak did. Okay, a few more rounds left. Round 8 will start soon. I think Raunak will play against Giga Kwapadze. G1 Queen. Okay, the next game will begin now. I am playing against Jam Alm 2. Okay. Raunak is playing against Zigalko Sergey and is going with b3. Wow. b3 is trending everywhere. c4. You see, he's also playing b3. What can we say? The entire world is shifting towards b3. What is happening to this world? Okay, now he's attacking this, so let's go ahead. e3, a5. If he takes, I take. If he takes, I take. Take, business. So after a lot of captures, we reach a position in which my opponent has an A file in control, but not much. I don't think he can do much with that. The exchange of queen favors me because I have double bishop advantage. I would like to believe that it favors me. And now I'm going to push this knight away and play f5. Yeah, there is great fun in pushing the knights away. And now this bishop will occupy the long diagonal and will sit very happily on c3. Okay, there you go. It has made itself comfortable on c3. And let's go b2. Now my knight will come to a5. Oh, there is a problem to solve. I think it's okay, I can give this pawn. This pawn is more... Oh, I thought he captured my rook. For a moment I got scared. Wow, I thought the sound of the capture felt like he captured a rook. But there was just a bishop. Thank you very much. Rook a1 is the threat. Goes for h4. If I go rook a1, I'll go rook a1. He has to go back to support his knight. Go back, Simon, go back. Okay, now he has to support both the knights. I don't think he is going to support them. So he's like giving away one of his knights, and I'm going to be very happy with that. Just take the knight, enjoy the feast. Okay, a quick look at the game between Raunak and Zigalko. Rook takes knight, bishop e5. Okay, I'm also like saying no problem, I will just capture that as well and just put the king on g7, very safe, and this b pawn will go and promote. I don't think he'll be able to stop it. Just b2 and then it's over. If he takes the knight, I just play rook c1 and b1 queen. This is where white should resign, but okay. Great. My opponent has hurt me. It was a nice game. Let's come to Raunak. So Raunak has this position against Zigalko Sergey. Belarus is from Belarus. d5 looks suspicious. e5, attack the rook. He has a great position. Hi Karthik. Yeah, thanks for watching Vatsal. I'm glad that you are liking the highlights. Yeah, that was very well put, I think. b3 is becoming the new e4. Khilan Panchal, for this particular Title Tuesday, we don't have to turn on the camera. Complete domination on white. Oh, thank you, Vatsal. So we have some new people joining just now. Welcome to everyone. We are in the final phase of the Title Tuesday. This is the last Title Tuesday of the month. So if you are here at the right time. Just few more rounds to go. He goes for e5. Wow, dc4, bc4, and then I think just retain the bishop. Just maintain the bishop and keep playing. Oh, he has exchanged it. I just saw a comment by Akshat Bani 07 on chess.com. He says that this is a crazy position. Well, if you play first move b3, you are going to get a crazy position for sure. I would say that b3 was underestimated for a while, but in 2021, everybody is taking it seriously. I think just queen takes queen and f4. If this rook were not here, then rook h8 kind of tactic would have worked, but in this position it's not working. I think it's high time for Raunak to exchange the queens. It's not exchanging. Rook e4, come on. Put the rook on e4. Will he do it? Yeah, he's doing it. His opponent just... And now queen d3. Queen g6. He's playing a lot of useful moves. And now he's going to play h4. Wow. f4. And then queen comes to g5? No, he's not going there yet. I think he will maneuver his rook to the h file. Oh, has he blundered a pawn? Looks like it. And now black has to find this king h8 move. Wow. If he had found that king h8, it would have been brilliant. I'm amazed by the accurate moves black is playing with just few seconds. Rook takes f6. Oh, just when I said that it was being accurate, black went on to make him blunder. But yeah, this was really great. And then here he just played. Yeah, this is not easy. Rook f5 game could have still gone either way, but yeah, great win by Raunak Sadhwani. So Raunak is now on 7.5 out of 8. He might play Hikaru in the next round. I think I would like to focus on the Hikaru match, so I'll just watch some games of Raunak now. 8 rounds are over, and there is a break of 3 to 4 minutes. Will you commentate on VD versus Duda? Spandan, are you interested to watch VD versus Duda? If you're interested, maybe we can consider. Hi Omkar Pingley. This is Champ 2005's Raunak Sadhwani. By the way, we have a tournament coming on August 12th. So the total prize fund is about 25,000. It's happening on chess.com. So I'll just share the link of that. Let me come to the event. So you see, this is the tournament link. If you are interested, this event is happening on 12th August. So we are still considering. I'm not sure if we are going to stream with it versus Duda, but if there are a lot of people curious to watch on chess.com India, then we can definitely consider. Oh, Aditya, Khemka, really? Alright. I'll pass the info to my staff and we'll see what we can do. As you've seen that I've been consistently doing Game of the Day videos. Did you all watch that? I think I did a lot of videos for the World Cup. So Nakamura has only drawn 2 games and is now on 7/8. And then we have Raunak 7.5. I think he's going to play Giga Wapadze. This Giga is very strong. Title Tuesday player. So he's coming to every Title Tuesday, almost every Title Tuesday. Shiva Mahadevan has won his game. He's on 6 out of 8. We missed out on his game, so let's see how he won the game. Nothing, just maneuvering. The entire game was just maneuvering. Any flashy tactics? I'm just seeing if there are any flashy tactics. Oh, just give a free piece, 93. Okay. Who are there? There's also Jeet Jain. Jeet Jain is on 6 points, right? No. He is on 5. So he lost this one. Then we have Dushyant Sharma. What a position. Look at this queen on d7. So Dushyant Sharma won his game by using this f4 against the Taimanov. You see, bishop a3, a very important move to prevent his opponent from castling. Again, something that you can remember when you are playing your own games. Wow. Then queen f7, and then the rook also joins the party. Nice. Short and sweet game by Dushyant. Who else do we have in the list? Manticore. What about a collab with Sagar Bhai for joint insights on the game? Interesting idea. I think once he was on our channel. No, he was on our channel when I think there was a stream on charity that was happening. I think like the stream was shared on both the channels. We have never really done that. I think maybe that is a good idea for the future. Thanks for the suggestion, Aditya. Okay. Is there any game that we are missing? Swimmer chess we saw. Champ, yes, we saw. Hikaru Nakamura. Okay. Let's look at Hikaru Nakamura's game. Okay. So the reason he plays f4 is because black is intending to play e5. So this is a very important point to remember. So you see he's making sure that none of these pawn breaks are possible. And now he expands on the king side because Yeah, it's a passive position, and black decides to give up material. This is what I call pull the brake concept. Okay, here we see the game that we've been waiting for. Giga Kuapadze versus Raunak Sadhwani, where Raunak is white. B3 again. Wow, what a joy. Raunak is enjoying himself employing B3 game after game. And if he wins this event, this will be very memorable, I think. Because just today I saw his tweet, and it feels like the whole world is divided in two parts, the ones that play b3 and the ones that don't play b3. Queen e2, bishop f6. I think this is the move, but he goes for f4. Maybe e5 is his idea. He wants to play e5 and annoy black with e6, and it's not so easy. e5, oh, not now. Knight f3, and then castles. But now the bishop on b5 looks a little silly, I must admit. Now he'll castle on the queen side. Oh, to be honest, I don't like white's position. I am slightly uncomfortable in this position, I feel. I would not like this because it's not easy for me to attack the black king. Whereas the black rook, the black pawn, they can all just march. But the same cannot be said about white. That's the only reason I am slightly reluctant on placing my bet on white here. But let's see. We have Raunak, who has turned games upside down with his skills. Let's see. h3. Now he wants to get g4. Very clear sign. And black has to play f5. Will black go f5 and prevent g4? No. I think there you have it. He's threatening bishop takes knight and knight g3 fork. I'm sure Raunak has seen it. He has seen that this is a threat, and so he plays rook e1, moves the rook away from h1, and now knight g3, queen e3, knight f5. Huh? Round number 9 is going on, Pratham. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? D takes e5. I think Raunak is back in the game. Bishop takes e5, and this knight on g3 is slightly feeling the pressure, feeling the heat. Goes for fe5. Okay. Rook d8, queen e3, knight f5. The drawback here for white is that it gives a lot of tempo to black, but yeah, he still has stabilized everything, because I was hoping that black would go a5, a4, but that is nowhere to be seen. So still a lot of play left for both sides. I was actually feeling that black was better, but now it's very unclear. Because now the f line is open, he could play moves like knight g5 and rook f1 and whatnot. e6, f6. I think d4 will also come, or maybe queen h4, but now queen h4 has no idea, so let's not go there. I think d4, because this rook wants to go to d7, isn't it? Yeah, he goes for d4 and then take the pawn and run to d7, the heaven for the rook, 7th rank. I think dc5, queen c5, queen c5, rook c5 and rook d7. Idea is to play g4 and kick this knight away. He goes for it. Wow. Am I thinking like Raunak, or is Raunak thinking like me? I don't know. Rook e8. Okay. So now knight will move. I would play rook d1. Yeah, this would be my move. But he plays Engine's top choice, a4. Amazing. And now g4. This is a move I would play, and this is also a move suggested by the engine. Dushyant. Ah, yes, we have a FIDE master who has the same name, Dushyant, you're right. Rajesh Champ 2005 is Raunak Sadhwani. So now g4, come on, g4. g4, knight e3, rook d2. It goes for rook d5. Okay, exchanging the rooks I think is good idea, because this is a passive rook, this is an active rook, so you exchange the rook that's active, makes sense. And now just play take and play rook a7. He goes for g4. Every move is a threat, and that is a good sign for Raunak. And he just has to support the pawn, and he does it. And now threats like rook d8 are also in the air. I think he's going to play rook d8 very soon, and this king on g8 is paralyzed. It cannot move much. And then knight, oh, we have to be careful. He activates his bishop immediately, and he was intending to go bishop f4, so g5 has been played. Now he wants to go c3, I think. That would be his plan. He goes for it. Wow. And now this is what they call a race. White has 2 pawns on the queen side, black has 3 pawns on the king side. Who will be the first to queen? Rook d4, a very intense endgame is about to follow. a5? No. I think a5 will come very soon. Yeah, he's going for a5. And a6 is going to come soon as well. And I think he'll be playing smartly with king b1, but away he goes bd2. On g4 he wants to go a6, on g3 a7, g2 a8, and g1. And you see how amazingly he has put the bishop on a5 so that the rook cannot watch the pawn on a6. And now his idea is rook c1 check, but even that is prevented because he has taken control of the c8 square. Very well played. I think this was a very well played by Raunak, who now moves to 8.5 bar 9, and he's in the sole lead right now. Amazing. Okay. Vinay Thakkar. Yes, thank you very much for telling the scores. You were right. So Raunak is right now with 8.5 per 9. I think just 2 more games left. Let's hope he wins the remaining 2. This is amazing game. On the other side, we have Shiva Madhavan also winning, which is great. And Shiva Madhavan's opponent has tried the Barry attack or the Chubava London. You see how White just directly opens the H line, H4, H5, H6. And you have to be careful against this line, it's not so easy. Knight d3, wow, look at this move. This is a bishop that is potentially harmful for black, so he gets rid of it with knight d3, and then the rooks are connected, the bishop pieces are all in the game. I would have taken queen takes queen actually, but Shiva Madhavan goes for the kill with queen takes f2. He captures the pawn and comes back. Queen h7 is a threat, which he defends with rook d8. And now again fg6 is not possible because of queen h7 mate. So he goes for bishop takes a2. And then queen takes g6. This was a very well played game by Shiva Madhavan, it feels. But for a moment White has an advantage all of a sudden because of the poor position of the black's game. Oh, when, when you are, I think, attacking, it's not a great idea to exchange queens, but here I think white was low on time and he just had to make a move. This has happened to me many times. Low on time, you have to make a move, and because you had to make a move, you have to make a move, and then you end up making moves that are usually not the best. But that can be improved by practicing a lot with less time control. Here we have Alexander Zubov versus Raunak Sadhwani. King's Indian, my vote. But he goes for Slav? I think Slav. Oh, he goes for Queen's Gambit A6. This is a new QGD, which is something that I have also played with the black side, and yeah, it's a nice opening. But it's not the usual QGD because the bishop has come out quite early, and the black reroutes the bishop to G6, and then there's also idea like C6 and B5 that can come in the remaining portion of the game. I think yeah, that's going to happen. He'll play C6 and then he'll play rook E8, then B5 follows sometimes. There's also rook E8 and knight E4 ideas. A combination of ideas. This position is rich with ideas. How many rounds? Just 2 more rounds, and Anukul, maybe the next game might be Raunak versus Hikaru. We'll have to wait and watch. Pratham, I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Coming back to the game, knight d3 c6, okay. And in order to put this knight on d7, this bishop has to be protected. So I have a feeling he'll play queen e7 and knight d7 and then b5 and then knight b6. Something like that could happen. His opponent goes for knight c5. I think it's a good idea to just chop off this knight and then develop your own knight to d7. I would have done that, but I can understand the hesitance here to take the knight. But I don't think there's any other move. You have to play something like rook a7, which is borderline passive. Oh, he goes for rook a7. So he wants to maintain the pieces, maintain the tension, keep as many pieces as he can. b6 is not possible because of bishop takes d6 and knight b6 falls. So he just has to move his rook now. I think that's what he's going to do. Meanwhile, we have Shiva Mahadevan, who is white, and I look at his clock time. Yeah, of course, he is way ahead than his opponent. He's on 7 points right now. This is the 10th round going on. And yeah, this is an IQP, and white has a good position. And now it's no longer IQP, but white still has a pleasant position. Coming to Raunak. So the bishops have been exchanged. And after 000, I feel b5 will come. And then this knight will come to d7. He first goes knight d7, okay. And now his opponent might take knight d7, and play g4. I think this is a hook. This is worthy of note. This rook on 8 has come to c7 by going to a7. The h2 pawn is hanging. Is somebody paying attention to that? Let's see. h2 pawn. But no. Raunak goes for queen b4, and after knight c3 he might come back. I think he might just come back. Queens have been exchanged. Oh. I would evaluate this position as an equal endgame. This king will come to d6 and make sure that the rook on c8 has a better job. I think this knight on d7 can come to a6 and sit very comfortably on b4. That's one of the ideas in the position. Just play rook b7 and get the knight to b4. Another idea is to just play f5 and rook e8. h5. Okay, that's a free pawn. Knight f6, and then he wants to take on b6. But there is rook b8, so you will get b3 pawn. So Raunak has offered a draw, his opponent has rejected it, and now we have this position. Knight c5, I think just rook b5 and black is fine. He wants to go here. Yeah, seems like so. Seems like he wants to put the knight on e5, target the c6 pawn. Black also has c5 to get rid of the weakness. Also b2 hangs, so you have to be very careful. One idea for white is to support the pawn with the king, but yeah. This is going down the wire. 1 minute, less than a minute for both the players. Rook b2 is a threat if the knight moves on d3, moves from d3 I mean. Rook b1, there is always a4. I think he just put the position pretty solid. I think black can also play g5 for a moment, but I think he can save that. And yeah, that's a draw by 3-4 reputation or photographic position. I think still a great result for Raunak, who is now having 9.5. No, he's having 9 out of 10 with just one round to go. Hikaru is on 8/9, so we'll have to check what's happening with Hikaru. Hi Mayank, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Yeah, Vatsal, you are right. Hikaru versus Raunak might happen. We also have Shiva Madhavan on 8/10, and okay. Let's see Hikaru's game. So here we have Hikaru. Hikaru is still playing. Hikaru is black in this position. It's an opposite color bishop. Oh, now I don't think it's possible to win this one. This is going to be a draw. Yes. This is going to be a draw. Yeah. So they have drawn, and exciting things now. Now that we have Raunak on 9 points, I think the next round will be very exciting. He's having a half-point lead over others, and I think even a draw should be enough for victory. Let's see. So Shiva Madhavan has also moved to 8 out of 10. So he has won this game against FIDE Master from Singapore. Okay. So this is where he just won 95, and then he just picked up the pawn. E7 is hanging. So clean finish, yeah. Did not give any chance to his opponent. Just clean finish is what it looks like. Okay. So this game is still going on. Srihari LR is white here and is expected to win this one. A4. But king b4 and the pawn is lost? No, it's not lost. Okay. The pawn is still very much in the race. The rook cannot be taken because the endgame is winning. Oh, he's lost the pawn, and this game is heading towards a draw. Knight b5 and mate. Oh, he missed it. He missed knight b5 and he still is winning. He's winning this one. Knight c6 is winning. Ah, no, not knight c6 here. He missed it. So this was an escape by black. And he'll just keep playing, I think. Both the players are playing with less than a second sometimes. Oh. Okay. So I'll just quickly show how white could have won in this position. Okay. This is all fine. Oh. Okay, we have the final clash. The clash that we were hoping for. Hikaru Nakamura is white against Raunak Sadhwani. This is going to be great. Let's go. So Hikaru has chosen the Rilo pace and Raunak has employed the Berlin. The solid Berlin. This is going to be exciting. Yes. After bishop to c5. Knight d4. Bishop e3. E5 is also attacked. Raunak has to consider that. If black takes the bishop, white wants to take the bishop. And we are in a situation in which even a draw is enough for Raunak to win the title Tuesday tonight. So Hikaru will give his everything. He will try and go all out in this game. I already see d6, bishop g4 coming soon, but he goes for d5. Okay. And in case of e5, he wants to move the knight to probably d7. Or maybe to h5 also. He goes to e8. Okay. This knight could come to e6. And then, the good thing for black here is that this bishop will remain out of the game for as long as this pawn stays on d5. That's a good point. And I like the square on f4. And you see the knight has come to e6 as predicted. The knight will come to f4 also very soon. On queen d2, I like king h8 and f6 ideas. So bishop a2, b4 was a threat. He's immediately played a5. h6. Will I go knight g5 here? Not needed, it's not needed. Now maybe rook e8 and f6. White wants to go f4, f5. What about f4? Yeah, now f5 is coming. I'm not sure how he's going to parry this threat. Because if you go f5, there is ef, rook f and then f5 coming. Bishop f5, knight f5, rook f5 and then rook e6 happening. So he goes for this. Okay. So it's like two pieces for a rook right now. Because white is eventually going to win one of these pieces. He goes for the bishop and again black is for preference because rook b2 and this a pawn will keep rolling. And Raunak has offered a draw because this draw also gives him the title. And now rook b2. I think rook b2 is a nice idea, or even a4. He goes for a4. Wow. Supports the pawn on d4. And this king comes to support c2, I think. I think he can also take his own time to bring his king to the queen side. Knight h4. Okay. On g5 the knight wants to land on d6. And king f7 is met by rook f1. So yeah, he has to deal with this threat first. G5, he goes for it. Knight F5. The king goes to D7. And knight could come to D6. But no, he decides to do otherwise. He goes with his knight to F3. He wants to keep an eye on the D4 pawn. There is some problem that black has, because he can't really roll the pawn so easily, because the pawn on D5 hangs, and if he moves the rook, the pawn on D4 hangs. So he still has some things to figure out. Can you go A3 here? But no, that will be too much. The pawn might be unreachable after that. So Raunak waits with king D7. C3 takes, and then knight C5. Knight B3 is threatened. Can he go knight B3? But then there's bishop B3, A3 at the blockade with the king on B2. So I think he'll have to wait. Wow. King E6, D4, rook C4. Oh, and what if DC5? There is rook takes C3, but then knight D4. Oh, he can't take the pawn because of the fork, so he has to move his king to D7. Oh, now things are changing. Hikaru is back in the game, and it's not so easy anymore. And I think C6 is going to fall if king E7, right? Then king E7, knight takes C6. King cannot come to E6 because of knight D8. Yeah, this is pretty unfortunate that position is suddenly in Hikaru's favor. For Raunak, I think he missed that king E6 and D8 is coming. And now E8 queen is threatened, and in rook E3 there is king D2, and the rook actually has no moves. So he decides to part with his rook, and now C5 is hanging, and rook C7, I think. Yeah, this is now in white's favor completely. Oh wait, he still has a way to go into an endgame, which is wrong color rook pawn draw, but the chances are slim. Yeah, he's put his pawns on the light squares, and yeah, as long as this bishop and pawn are here, I think this is lost. Okay, so Raunak Sadhwani loses this one, but he was very close. He almost had it. That's pretty sad that we are not going to see him win this one. Let's check his standings. So what is his final standings? I think he is in third position. Okay, so he gets third place. I think that's still a pretty decent finish, isn't it? Top 3, so he wins a prize, and yeah, it was a good fight. Shreylata, I think Vidit has great chances against Tuda, because Vidit has the fact that he is in quarterfinals itself tells you that he is meant to be there. So I fancy his chances. Pushkar, yes, that's my thought as well. Let me check if Raunak wants to join us and share his thoughts. So I'm just going to ask him. Give me a moment. I'm just asking if he's there. So I've sent a message. Let's see. I'm not sure if he is having his phone next to him, but I have sent a message. But this was really close. Vatsal Singh, are you sure about those statistics, or are you like only counting the classical games, or are you counting the online games? I remember that Vidit has played against Duda before, but I'm not sure about the statistics. So yeah, Raunak Sadhwani, bronze medal there, third prize. I think it's a good one, good achievement. And we saw B3, how he won a lot of games just by employing B3. So yeah, Hikaru Nakamura has done it again. I don't even remember how many games he's won using in this Saturday Tuesday. I've just lost count. And on the other side, we have Shiva Mahadevan also finishing in the top. He's got 7th position with 9 bar 11. Okay, seems like they played a long theoretical line. By the look of it, I can sense that all this was preparation. But maybe it's just bluffing also, I don't know. Looks like a great game though. Yeah, G3 and then King G2 and then Queen H1. I'm just trying to see how exactly Shiva Mahadevan won this one. So you see this Queen A2 setting a trap, G6 is a threat. Wow, what a move, Bishop F5. Is this a mistake or a good move? I don't know. I think it's a move that is meant to scare your opponent, especially when he is having like very few seconds on the clock. Practically, yes, it did work for him. Oh, Raunak can join. So I'll just send him a link. So let's invite Raunak. So Raunak is going to come. So guys, Raunak Sadhwani is going to join us in the stream. Yeah, great. So Raunak Sadhwani is coming here. Hello? Yeah, so I think Raunak will be here very soon. Hi Raunak.
Hello.
So there you have Grandmaster Raunak Sadhwani with us. So Raunak, first of all, what's the time there?
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, and how was your day?
Okay, I lost my game. And
What?
like I finished my game like 15 minutes before I came to my room, and I thought 2 minutes before I decided to just play to
Okay.
freshen up after a loss. So, okay, now I'm happy and I can fight tomorrow.
Great. I'm really glad that you were able to join us. So tell me, what is this B3 fascination that you are having? Because I feel like the whole chess world is divided in two groups right now. One group that says B3 ki jai ho, and the other says no, we are not B3 people.
Yeah. Okay, I have been playing B3 already for a year extensively in Blitz, so okay, I know many plans. So yeah, I just play it.
So would you recommend a player who has just started, let's say, who knows how pieces move? Would you recommend that player to start with B3?
Yeah, you can read some course or some book. I also made a course recently, so I'm just copying that, all the lines from there and playing. So
Okay, so the lines that you prepared, like, did you use the
yeah, I
games
have all
first?
this in my course. Yeah.
Okay. That's great to know, and I will personally be checking that. I think B3 is trending everywhere. A quick word about tonight's Title Tuesday. What are your thoughts, and what do you think about your performance tonight?
Last game, I thought I had a very solid position, but yeah, okay, he played really very well, maneuvered everything very well, and yeah, I think it was fine.
But other than
Hikaru is a
that, I
very good
wanted to
player.
know like how you felt about your own games. I saw a lot of white wings, especially in B3 in this event.
Yeah, I played all B3.
Okay, and did you try B3 in the BL event as well?
No, I think for classical it's a bit too much, but for rapid and blitz, I think it's very good.
Okay, I'm then going to take it seriously because I'm also playing this ASF online event. I might try B3 myself. And the new viewers, Raunak is playing BL event, so I don't want to keep him up too long. So, Raunak, please come to our stream in the first week of August. We have scheduled one with you,
Sure.
and we want to know all the stories behind your success in the last events. Accept my congratulations and wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
then. Thank you very much for joining. Congratulations again. Bye.
Thank
So that was Raunak Sadhwani, who was kind enough to come for a while and share his thoughts. I think this Title Tuesday was special for many reasons. I would say that it was special because it was the last Title Tuesday of the month, plus Raunak Sadhwani was here, plus to me personally it felt like a really long stream because majority of the stream I was talking and commentating on other games, and I played I think only two games, and this is the first time in the Title Tuesday I've got 100%. Can you believe it? That's of course because I only played two games and then I decided to commentate for the rest of the event. Yes, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಅವರೇ, ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Yes, Vatsal, I have congratulated him on your behalf. Thank you for your wishes. It was really nice to talk to Raunak, and we will be also following his games from the main event. Yes, Mayank, 2 bar 2. Ramdas. Oh, I'm yet to check Nihal's game. I think that makes for a very good YouTube stream title, right? 100% for Niranjan, but Raunak wins top place. Yeah. So with that, I think it's a good moment to say tata, bye bye, and good night. And thank you, dear viewers, for joining. I had great fun doing this stream. And just an announcement for all those of you who do not have chess.com merchandise, I think it's a great opportunity. Just go to the Red Wolf site. I have the link there in the description. You can buy a Title Tuesday shirt like I have, or you can also get hoodie and chess.com t-shirt, I think, for yourself, or it also makes for a very good birthday gift. If you have somebody in your family who loves chess, I think you can consider buying it for them as well. Vishnu, I'm not from Navalgund, but yeah, I just have that surname because my sisters, they decided to keep that name. Bye, Vishnu. Have a great night ahead. And yes, with that, I'm going to say tata, bye bye, and thank you very much for all those who joined today. Tomorrow, don't forget to tune in at 5:30 p.m. on chess.com/TV, where there will be a broadcast game coverage of Vidit versus Duda and other players as well. So don't miss that. We might have Vishy Anand coming as well to commentate on the games. And as usual, I'll be back again with some more videos and streams. Until then, take care, bye bye, and good night.